such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. Want to encourage you to go to our webpage. Go to our webpage, for such a time as this today, for such a time as this today. As Big Brother continues to censor us, if you go to our website, our webpage, you can sign up for our weekly email list. We send out an email with our new material. That way, if Big Brother is censoring us, you will always be able to see our new material. Okay, want to get into the issue that's in the news about Major League Baseball punishing the state of Georgia. Because Georgia came up with a novel idea. Let's make sure you're the person you claim to be when you vote. Let's require voter identification. And somehow that was twisted to be racist. And I love sports, been around sports, I've been involved in sports my entire life. Used to love the show Undisputed. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. I no longer watch the show. I can't stand it anymore. Because at some point, they thought we tuned into a sports show to get lectured politically. And although Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe know something about sports, they know very little about morality and the history of politics. I can't stand the show. I don't watch it anymore. But the clip came out. They're still lecturing us on politics. And Mr. Sharpe is weighing in on Major League Baseball punishing the state of Georgia by yanking the All-Star game from the state of Georgia and moving it to Colorado. Let's listen to the wisdom of Shannon Sharpe.
I like the move by MLB. I like they're taking a stand. And Skip, at some point in time, you're going to have to put action to your words. You say you're about inclusion. You say you're about doing the right thing. At some point in time, you have to put those actions into words. I mean, put those words into action. And that's what they're doing, Skip. Now, you're going to be relegated to where you can take this game to, because there's a lot of other states that's doing the exact same thing as Georgia. Texas, Florida. So Florida, you're off the list. Texas, you're off the list. There are a lot of states that are doing the exact same thing that Georgia did.
So now, people, please tell me how civil war has not begun. This is civil war. This is civil war. The sports industry, they're taking political sides because Major League Baseball did not like the state of Georgia simply saying, we want you to show evidence that you are who you say you are to protect against voter fraud. Sports is now picking sides, Democrats. They're picking the side of Democrats, and I'm getting sick of sports. For the first time this last year, I never watched one single second of the NBA Finals. Done with the NBA. Done. Not that I was a baseball fan, but if I were to actually look at a baseball game, done with the Major League Baseball. Done. Done. Shannon Sharpe shares some more of his wisdom when it comes to politics.
Now, we want to put these right, because what they see, Skip, there's a changing of the guard. More people are becoming of age to vote, and they're minorities, and they're voting. So instead of changing your messaging and try to reach out to a new base, what do? We're going to try to restrict so you can't. It shouldn't be harder to vote than to get a gun. Now, what's wrong with that picture, Skip? You notice that they're making it harder for you to vote than to get that gun. No, we don't want to do nothing with the gun. No, I want my Second Amendment. What is more democratic than their right to vote? Now, America, people...
I wonder how many firearms Mr. Sharpe has. I wonder how many firearms he's purchased. There is not a store, website, anything that I know of. Talk to friends. They're not aware of it either. Where you can purchase a gun without an ID, without a picture ID. And then they take it, run a background check on it. I don't know what he's talking about. And I'm pretty darn sure he doesn't know what he's talking about either. That is ignorance. It's ignorance. And this lie is being spun that somehow Georgia is restricting voting. It's unbelievable. And whenever white liberals want to manipulate, control, get African Americans all stirred up, not all of us, not all African Americans, a lot of African Americans are waking up, but the Shannon Sharpes of the world, whenever they want to control the Shannon Sharpes of the world, they yell out racism. And the foolishness begins. And here's some more foolishness.
But right here in America, the same thing is happening. They're trying to take us back. As soon as we get one step, just a little bit of say so, it bothered them, Skip, that Georgia went red. We got two senators. We got the first black senator in Georgia history, Raphael Warnock. We got a Jewish congressman, Ossoff. That bothered them, Skip. So what they saw is that, hold on, man, Florida's still slowly creeping. North Carolina's slowly creeping. Georgia went over the edge. Texas.
As soon as we get a little bit of say-so, they get scared. I think he's talking about conservatives and Republicans. Not that those two are necessarily the same, but he's talking about the other side, the Republicans, the conservatives. Soon as we get a little bit of say-so, they take us back. Do you hear the language? And the language is dishonest. As soon as I'm going to assume, he made a few mistakes there. They were upset Georgia went red. He meant to say that they are upset that Georgia went blue, right? But as soon as we get a little bit of say-so, how dishonest is that? Let me see a little bit of say-so. Let me see. Barack Obama, what was he, a representative? Was he a senator? He was a senator, but he was president. A little bit of say-so. As soon as we get a little bit of say-so, he was elected president twice. Twice. Nobody made this ruckus when he's elected twice. The ruckus was made in Georgia when you saw a video. Well, they're going to kick me off if I keep going. There was a video down in Georgia. I still don't understand. But anyway, it's dishonest. It is completely dishonest. Not only him, but corporate America is looking to punish Georgia because they're running with this lie that somehow Georgia is being racist in their election laws, and they're going to look to punish Georgia. This is me. I honestly believe Democrats are upset and they can't let this voter ID concept spread because then we will see actually how many people actually vote for them. And they can't have that. Representative from Georgia was on Newsmax, had a very, very good comeback against those like the Shannon Sharpe, those of the corporations who say that voter ID is racist. Here she is.
My thoughts overall are this. When Major League Baseball wants to stop requiring identification to pick up tickets at the will call window, then we can have a conversation about showing an ID to vote. When Delta wants to stop requiring people to show an ID to fly on their airline, then we can have a conversation about showing ID to vote. When Coca-Cola wants to change the laws in our country where people don't have to show ID to buy their alcoholic beverages, then we can have a conversation about showing ID to vote. I have a strong opinion on this, and it is not racist to require people to have an ID to vote. It's very racist to assume that Black people are not intelligent enough to be able to get an ID to vote. So I think the Democrats are the ones that are definitely being the racist in this situation. They're looking down on Black voters, and so are these very rich CEOs of these very successful corporations.
And she's very right. The racists are those who are claiming that it's racist, and it's becoming ever more true. You want to know what the Democrats are doing? You want to know what the Democrats think and feel? They're saying that the conservatives feel that way. The Democrats are calling conservative racist. It's the Democrats who are racist, who are looking down on Blacks and saying, Blacks, you're too stupid. Blacks, you're too weak. Black, you're too ignorant to get a voter ID. If the state of Georgia requires voter IDs, then Blacks, they're disenfranchising Blacks because Blacks are too stupid to figure out how to get an ID. Every Black person I know above the age of 18 has a driver's license. Qualified. Qualified. What, are Blacks too stupid to get a driver's license? Are Blacks too stupid to get a state ID? Are Blacks too ignorant that they cannot get a voter ID to vote? That is the racist point. That is what needs to be driven home. It's that Democrats still see Blacks as ignorant monkeys incapable of getting a voter ID. That's the racist view. Major League Baseball is being racist, not the state of Georgia. And for the life of me, how is it that more Blacks can't see? It's the Democrats who look down on them. They're the racists. And it's so, I don't understand why that is not more clear and apparent to Blacks. The Democrats are the racists in this view. On this issue, it's the Democrats. But as I've said before, I'll keep saying it because I believe it. What we're seeing in America, and dare I say the world, this is not normal stupidity. What Major League Baseball just did is not normal stupidity. What Blacks can't see on this issue, that it's the Democrats and Major League Baseball that are being racist, the fact that they can't see that, this is not normal stupidity. I do believe there is a deluding spirit in the earth working wonders. And I hope it is because the Lord is coming back soon.
For such a time as this,